All right, everybody, welcome to week number 13, Triskaidekaphobia week. Blades in the Dark. My name's Matt. That's Ian. That's Mike. That's Emily. And that's Anthony.
Woo!
And we are here.
All gonna get stabbed 13 times each.
We're here to die, apparently, is what we are here for.
You lose 13 life, deal 13 damage, draw 13 cards,
And then lose the game.
And lose the game.
Excellent. Man, how's everyone doing today?
Woo!
You guys are the worst.
I said
I can't
great,
do this
okay?
alone. Come on.
Excellent.
All I'm saying is that you always want me to go last, you know?
That's true, that's true. Well, Ian, how are you doing, man? How was your week?
My week is good. I mean, I was sick a lot of it, which wasn't good, but during that time, I caught up on a lot of movies. So, I actually unwittingly dropped onto a kind of like a running theme of movies. So kind of started getting into older movies. So I watched Akira, which is an old animated movie about like 80s. It was made in the 80s, sci-fi with like Japanese biker gangs and psychic children and like.
That sounds like a movie
freaking
version
awesome.
Of like a second DLC to that. Well, what's that Fallout or not Fallout 3? Far Cry 3 DLC that came out that was like
Blood Dragon.
Yeah, it sounds
That's
like
the,
Dude, it
Blood
is.
Dragon Part 2.
It's so cool. Like,
I haven't played Far Cry Blood Dragon, go play it.
Yeah.
I haven't played it.
You've watched Akira, right?
Yeah.
No.
I watched Akira. It's really good. Yeah, probably one of my favorite. Like, I would count it with animes. You know, there's not a whole lot of anime movies that are decent, but watched Tombstone, Hateful Eight.
That's
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
I actually was not a huge fan of Hateful Eight.
Okay.
I liked the cast a lot.
I always enjoy movies that manage to tell an interesting story all at basically one location, you know.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
like that.
Creates an interesting opportunity to make the setting worth more than other movies would. But it also is an interesting like challenge for, I imagine, the director to make it like not look boring by the end of the movie. You know, like a movie can look really boring if you take 2 hours of the same room, so you have to make it look different.
Yeah.
So.
Or a phone booth.
Or a phone booth. Phone booth. Was, I don't know. I don't know if I would call it a good movie.
It
I've
was
actually
an
seen that
interesting movie.
Yeah, I remember when that movie came out. I watched it, and then I was like, "Dad," because this was like when everyone had home phones.
What's a phone booth?
I was like, "Dad, listen, we gotta like go to the main menu of the DVD, go to the part where the guy's like basically, I don't know what he says to the guy anymore. He says basically like, "Hey, I see you on the phone there. Like, don't move or I'll kill you." And I was like, "And we have to set that as our voicemail." And he was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So we totally did that. We set that as our voicemail.
Oh my gosh.
And for
It's
like
been a
for like a
wild
week.
ride.
Yeah. and then he was like, "We should probably undo that." We were getting a lot of telemarketer calls, I seem to recall, so we that was
Threatened to kill them.
yeah.
But I'd love
We got a
to
lot
set
less
up-
after that.
Nice.
You
It
set
worked.
up a
Nice.
second phone number on like a burner phone that you put in for everyone that asks for your phone number that you don't actually want to give your phone number to.
Did you say a burner
way-
phone or a burger phone?
Burner.
You said burner.
Oh, dang.
Burger phone.
Okay.
Emily,
Grab your
didn't
patty
you have a burger phone?
My college roommate did. She had a hamburger phone, and we
Yeah.
got really weird calls on it from time to time.
Think that was because it was a burger?
Probably. I think that explains everything.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Well, if anything, Ian, I think we can all agree that The Hateful Eight was a very Tarantino movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, I kind of was like, what the heck is going on? There's like, they cut in on the second act, and there's like, so all of a sudden there's like a narrator,
Yeah.
And it's like, where was this narrator
It
during
is
the first
jarring.
act?
He was
What
just
the
watching the
hell?
movie with you.
One
Guess
thing,
so.
Yeah.
I saw that movie in theaters, and when we walked into the theater, the people, like the ticket people, they were like, "Yeah, there's gonna be a 15-minute intermission, like partway through the movie." Never happened. There
Wow.
was no intermission.
Yeah,
I
I heard about that
thought-
too, but
Yeah.
I could see why they would do it. It was pretty long, or at least it felt
was.
long.
How long is that movie?
I don't
3
know how
hours?
long it actually was. It 3 hours?
Close to 3 hours.
Okay, yeah, I was
About
gonna
3
say,
hours. Yeah.
like I remember I went in and I had to pee, and like if I go into a movie and I have to pee, I'm there. Like
Yeah.
I'm there, and when I come out of that movie, I'm like, like
Yeah.
I'd
But-
say it's about
But I actually went
half
up to use the
of one of
restroom.
the extended cuts of Lord of the Rings. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I measure movies.
yeah, yeah.
How many of these could I watch in the time span that it would take me to watch one of the extended cuts of Lord of the Rings?
Anyways, yeah. What
Yeah,
I was
well-
saying was earlier was I unwittingly and not intentionally ended up on a Kurt Russell binge. So I watched Hateful Eight, but before that I had just watched Bone Tomahawk. Can I just say, as ridiculous as his facial hair, and it's still cool, but it's kind of a little ridiculous in Hateful Eight. Like his facial hair in Bone Tomahawk is like on point. Like that man can grow a beard. And then I watched Tombstone today, which is also really good.
Awesome.
It just makes me love Sam Elliott even more than I already did. I didn't think that was possible, but that man, I love that man.
It's
Yeah.
great on. Yeah.
That's the best kind of binge you could possibly go on, is a Kurt Russell binge.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite movies is Escape from L.A.
Oh, word, yeah.
I actually really prefer that one to New York, but I don't know. I love Escape from L.A. It's so good. It's definitely, it inspired my love of like 80s sci-fi,
Yeah, yeah.
which is why I like Akira. So to finish up my tangent, go watch Akira.
Okay.
Okay, yes, sir.
Well, what about you, Michael? How about you? How are you doing?
Hi, guys. I'm doing swell. Most recent news for me, I was on my way home from work today, and I had to use my brother's car because my brother took a road trip to Spokane, and so he used my mom's car, and she had some errands to run today that she couldn't use my brother's car for, so she used my car. So I had to use my brother's car to get to work today.
Which has like
And
a
on-
broken head gasket, right? Like it just shouldn't be on the road.
Yeah, on the way home from work, the like head radiator hose exploded
Oh,
on the
sweet.
road. So that was fun.
Yeah, that sounds like you had a great day.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, I was like pulling off the exit to go into Camus, and like all of a sudden, out the like left side of the hood, just water, and I'm like, I don't think it's supposed to do that. I don't know cars, but I don't think it's supposed to puke water.
Well, I'm sorry that happened. Anything else that's happened in your week since we have last seen each other?
Oh yeah, lots of things have happened this
Sure.
week. I'm sorry, guys. I watched an anime.
Is that something you have to apologize for?
I don't know. Is it?
I think you're the
The
only
champ.
person you have to apologize for for that. Like no one else. Everyone's okay.
If you don't know, Mike has been a long-standing hater of anime.
I have not
Um,
hated anime.
'cause
I've
his
just
brother's
never
a weeboo.
watched. My brother is a weeboo.
I think everybody,
No,
yes,
that's
your
fair.
brother is a weeboo, but you have statistically, like, provenly dissed anime at like every point that I've
Just
known you.
because it's
so-
fun to hate things that other people like. It's not because they actually have anything against anime.
Yeah,
And I
but-
actually enjoyed Attack on Titan a little bit. It was good.
When you say you enjoyed it a little bit, like what does that mean?
It means that I thought it was
Means
good.
you liked it.
I liked
Oh.
it.
Okay.
It wasn't terrible. I know that Matt, you could not stand the first episode.
No, watch the pilot.
I-
Didn't watch
I-
anything else.
I also was okay with Attack on Titan, but I will wholeheartedly agree with Matt. The first episode is probably one of the. I actually watched the first episode and didn't watch that show for like a year, and then someone told me that I should really give it a try, and I did, and actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the problem for me was that it got overhyped. Like a bunch of my friends were like, "Attack on Titan," and I was like, "I guess I'll
there's-
check it out then."
There's never a point in the show where it's like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is. I think that Matt, you summed it up nicely, or someone said that it was supremely average. I think Ian, you might have been the one to
That was
say.
Antoine.
Actually,
That was Anthony. Yeah. So one of my friends said it was supremely average. I think that's a pretty decent description of Attack on Titan. But I'm in the middle of watching that Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, the show.
Hell yeah, dude.
So
Pretty good. I like
Episode
Has
three.
everything, man.
Spike Lee is pretty cool.
Has like the best soundtrack.
It's got some good music. Yeah, it's good. Good.
It is a beautiful show.
Yeah.
Steve Blum.
Well, we'll save
How
our
far are
anime
you?
podcast for next time, you guys. But we should
talked
check in with
for,
everyone else.
So long about movies, but oh well, you know.
But your brother's a weeb, so I'm done with it already. All right, Emily.
I've tried to convince him to be on the show.
Yeah.
Mm.
Emily, how are you?
Well, I'm pretty good. I haven't watched any anime that I know of recently, so I figure I'm doing all right.
Well, we watched Stranger Things recently, and that's basically an anime, right?
Sure? Question mark? That is a good show. And we also saw Star Trek Beyond
Yeah.
this
Actually,
weekend, which was pretty good. It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
it was not nearly as bad as people were making it out to be, in my opinion.
No.
For what?
So, Star Trek Beyond.
Because we're good. I liked it a lot.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute and enjoyable and just unserious enough. Also, all right. I wish I could just. Okay, I can't spoil it because you
Spoiler
might see
fingers
it.
up.
Spoiler fingers up. But is this from something?
I mean, you hold up a finger on the podcast when you're going to talk spoilers, so people know to mute if they don't want to hear spoilers
Oh,
about
I
Star
see.
Trek
I
Beyond.
didn't know
I don't
this.
want
And then you,
Well-
and you let it go when
Well,
you're done.
okay, so this will be unspoilered. The way that they like, because they take down the big guy, right? Like, there's no bad endings in Star Trek, right? So the way they take down like the main group of bad guys, I was just like, yes, this is
Pretty good.
excellent. So
To be fair, it's in the trailer, but
well, right, but you don't know how they do it, like,
Right.
I know.
So-
I thought it was pretty pleasing. I got a
Emily-
kick out of it for
yeah,
sure.
and Emily doesn't even like the Beastie Boys.
No, not even a little, but it
So-
felt really,
Spoiler.
really right in that
Shame on you.
moment.
Shame on
You're
you.
good. You're good, Anthony. Okay. So yeah, what else have you done, Emily?
What have I done? Well, I'm excited because I am moving into an office at my work, mostly because we have vacant offices, and
Nice.
I'm taking the corner office, so
Nice.
deal with it. So I'm pretty excited about that. Get my own little corner of the kingdom. And yeah, gosh, I don't know. Matt and I both have birthdays on the horizon,
Yeah.
and we'll do celebratory things for those
And
events.
Ian does too.
Hey, when is your birthday?
This is on Sunday.
Mine's on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
He and I are only 2 days apart. Cheers to
That's
birthdays.
beautiful. I am on the 30th, so
Yeah.
welcome to the August crew. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm perpetually busy, and I could probably go on and on, but those are a couple of highlights of life.
Sweet. Anthony, how about you, man?
I cede my time to Mike talking about Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
wow.
Well, I have exciting stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Go for
Man.
it, Matt.
I didn't say Matt.
Well, he was done talking about Cowboy Bebop, so
Well, then okay, all right.
go ahead. Do you have something?
No, you tell us, Matt.
All right. This weekend, Anthony and I,
See?
right, got to go to GP Portland, which is a Magic event. So if you're not interested in that, don't go anywhere. Actually, just hold on. This is really cool. It's only going to take me
GP stand for?
Grand Prix. It's like
Excuse me.
it's
I
like,
didn't
it's like a
even-
giant competitive event for Magic the Gathering.
Nerds.
And they have a giant main event, and they have a bunch of side events that are fun. They had Chaos sealed box draft thing. So like you got a box of any set of Magic, and you played with it, and you created a sealed deck with 36 packs. So it was like a $300 buy-in for that, which was wild. So there's just a bunch of fun stuff. There were artists there that were really cool, and Anthony was kind enough to walk me through the process of bartering at a GP which is surprisingly complex and just a delicate operation all the way through, I would say. And I managed to walk out with some swag, and Anthony did too, but I want to show you what I got here. Okay, so this is page... You can't see it. Dang it! Okay, these are all signed. These are expensive and cool, right? There's so much cool stuff. I got so much stuff, and I'm so excited because, I don't know, they're just really great. And I got good deals on stuff too, I feel like, so it was just a lot of fun. I had a great time, and the next day, it's a 2-day event. The next day, Anthony texted me while Emily and I just got out of seeing Star Trek, and one of our friends from our game store was in the top 8 with a sweet deck, which is a huge deal, by the way. There's like thousands of people at these tournaments, so, excuse me, being in the top 8 is like, it's ridiculous. And he was using a deck that basically gave, like, he had a card that said you lose the game, and instead of losing the game, he gave it to them, and that's how he won the games. And I'm just like, yes, it was so sweet, and I'm so stoked for him. He's like the nicest guy. His name's Chris Botello. I'm sure if you like go to YouTube and type in Chris Botello, Cat Pact, you'll see him playing, and you'll see his interview. He's just a great guy, and I was just really, really excited that he, of all the people that Anthony and I know from this game store, that he made top 8, because he's just such a deserving guy. And now he gets to go to the Pro Tour later this year in Honolulu and compete in that. It's just awesome. So, sweet. Yeah, it was just super sweet, like a huge deal. And then
he played like, 14-ish rounds of Magic.
Yeah,
those are 50-minute best 2 or 3 matches. So he played a lot of Magic. And he played well for a very long time.
More than I could do.
and he played a couple very high-ranking people as well. He didn't play Paul Rietzel, who's a pro, who was in the top 8, but he played... it was like round 13. I forget who he played. But in round 13, he played someone who was like, I knew the name, and I was like, oh crap, that's a big deal. And he beat him.
To get in.
So...
Yeah. He was in first going into the top 8. So.
Yeah. It's number 1 seed. So, unreal.
I really like how when one of the main cards that he used in the game-winning combo, when that first came out, I think, like, me, Matt, and Anthony were all pretty much like, hey, you could do this with this card somehow. Someone should do that. And then he did it, and he did well with it.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, I wonder if there's a way to give this to your opponent. And the answer is yes, eventually.
You guys should see this card because it's adorable.
It is really cute.
Just link it in the chat. Yeah, the art is actually really adorable. Emily, you like it. Take a look at that in the chat.
Don't worry about it. It's not... That cat's definitely not going to kill you. Ignore the tail of death.
Yeah. It's an adorable little cat. Anyway, so that happened, and then this week's just balls at work. I'm not excited. But this weekend is my birthday, and Emily and I get to go down to the coast. It seems like maybe I don't know, it's just a busy weekend going on. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, am I missing anybody? No, I don't think I am, right? Great. Let's hop into the game. Mike, where did we leave off?
Well, first off, before we hop into the game, all praise to version 7. The update for Blades in the Dark has released, and we will be using that version live on the air.
We're doing it live.
For the first time. No one has ever used this version before. We are the first.
Yeah, you heard
Probably not. But yeah, we're super excited about some of the changes. Our crew type, the Thieves, has been changed to the Shadows. And a couple of the classes have been changed around a little bit. Mostly Ian's Cutter class was changed the most out of...
I got a scary weapon now.
Yeah, he does.
Wait, instead of a fine weapon, you have a scary weapon?
No, I get 3 weapons.
Oh.
All of them.
And one of them is a scary weapon or tool.
Excellent.
Because I needed more of those. You know me.
So, we finished the score last time.
Yeah.
And... Sorry. Yes, I'm just... Previous score we did to that. After we did that score, we never did entanglements, I'm pretty sure.
That's cool.
Unless I... So we forgot that, so we're not going to forget that this time, so we're just going to hop straight into payoff, heat, entanglement, and downtime for the score. So payoff score yields 1 rep per tier of the target and a coin reward based on the nature of the operation. See the list at the right. So, Silas.
Yes.
You sold some of the barrels that were containing spirits.
Yes, I did.
Yes. How many did you sell, and how many were you guys keeping? I think we were selling 3, keeping 1.
Yes.
All right. This is going to be 8 coin payoff for that.
Cool.
For the barrels themselves?
For the whole score, yeah, but pretty much mostly for the barrels.
Right. Since that's really all we would have like monetarily gained from that immediately.
Yeah.
The goal of the score, by the way, audience, is we had just acquired a cafe that's on a little canal in the city, and we were trying to make it known that waterway was dangerous. Not necessarily that we were the dangerous ones, such that the sailors would use us as sort of a safe harbor, to a safe house with a fee to hold their goods over. So we blew up a boat.
You did. You blew up a boat. It was owned by someone who was not a very nice man. He was a spirit trafficker. He was trafficking spirits, and I think only one of our characters has been taken out of the action due to that score.
Correct.
Which we will get to shortly. So the tier of the target, this guy isn't an official faction, so I think that we could count him, or at least his organization. You guys think that tier 1 is fair?
Yeah, I would argue he's probably tier 1. He put up a little bit of a fight for Silas and Macasus and Lyric, but wasn't like, he's not hot shit.
So, yeah, you guys get 1 rep for that one. And just so that you guys in the chat know, we have converted over to a different Roll20 sheet.
You'll see that in a minute too. It's really great.
It's real cool. It doesn't have a crew sheet yet, though. It is in the process of having one created and added. But we will be using something that we can't really show you for keeping track of our crew stuff. So can you guys tell me what rep you guys are at, if you know?
I'd have to open up the other campaign and Roll20.
We should be at 7.
Okay.
Now, but we have 1 turf, so we only need 1 more to
that's what I thought.
Advance.
Is that 7 after this extra 1? Or
yes.
Okay. Yeah, let me just open this up so I can just double check. Yeah. Crew advancement. Where the heck is it?
I have a hard copy of the sheet.
Cool. Yeah. Turf 1 rep. Yeah, it was 6, so it'll be 7 now.
Yeah.
Cool. So after that, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, only 1 more. Just so you guys are aware, the way that kind of works with him saying we have 1 turf, so we need less. The turf counts backwards from the right on the sheet, and rep counts forward, and like where they meet in the middle is when you advance your crew.
Oh, okay.
So if you guys either gain a rep, or even if you gain another turf, then you'll be able to advance your crew. You'd have to first advance your position as a crew before you can advance your tier, though, because you are at weak hold, and you can't advance your tier while at weak hold.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's all we need to do for payoff. We don't need to pay a tier to a ward boss yet, because we're not tier 1 quite yet. So we don't need to worry about that. We didn't seize a claim.
What's a ward boss?
So that would be like, once you guys get to tier 1, essentially what would happen is Lisa, the leader of the Crow's Foot, she would say, hey, you're kind of operating in my turf. I'm going to allow you to do that kind of separate from us, but you're going to have to pay me a little something to let me continue to operate. Basically a percentage of whatever you guys make has to go to her for her continued goodwill and allow you to operate.
Okay, so what you're saying then is that like these are the characters that we have to kill off first.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure. That's up for you.
Yes,
guys.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I knew that's what you're saying, Ian.
Cool. Heat. After a score or conflict with an opponent, the crew takes heat. Add 1 heat for a high-profile or well-connected target. He really wasn't. Unless you guys really want to argue that he was super high-profile.
I would argue not that he's high-profile, but that he's well-connected. Because he's a spirit trafficker, which means that he has to have contacts,
sure.
right? Like, he has to know people that know how to know either like the corrupt spirit wardens that he can get around, or like know how to get around spirit wardens. So I wouldn't say he's like extremely well connected, but I imagine he's got some connections.
I want to argue that he isn't because I don't want to take that extra heat, but I also agree with Matt.
I'm not looking at the sheet right now because I don't have an updated one, so I don't know what this means for us as far as like.
Well, congrats!
I don't know either.
I don't think it's like your heat is at 3 of 9 right now.
Oh,
if Silas is current and up to date. Do you know if your heat level is accurate, Silas?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't think that he's super well connected enough to warrant another heat. So I'll let you guys slide on that one. It didn't happen on hostile turf because it pretty much happened right outside a piece of turf.
Our turf.
Yeah. So I don't think that we should count that as hostile turf. And I think that hostile turf also means on the turf of a faction that you are faction status hostile with.
Oh.
Not just, someone else.
Not just not yours.
Right.
Specifically not yours.
Yes. And you're not at war. And 2 heats of killing was involved.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
You killed a bunch of people.
And dropped a grenade onto a transport.
And I'd say that as far as the rest of the heat goes, I would count this as 4 heats level, loud and chaotic.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's much arguing there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You did drop a grenade on a boat.
And shot at it.
Wasn't quiet or calm.
Nope.
And Emily, well, I guess Lyric blew up a barrel of souls using an electroplasmic harpoon.
Sure.
So.
That's what I do.
Yep. All right, and this wasn't I don't think that this guy is an official faction on his own. He might be connected to the spirit traffickers, though, which I think is a faction.
I don't know if the spirit traffickers are their own faction.
Double checking here.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Spirit wardens. There's no spirit trafficker.
And I know there's one that like specifically works close to it, but I'm not certain which one that is.
Yeah. I don't think that he is a faction or connected to a faction, so I'm just making sure that there's no rep loss happening here that should be.
Yeah, he could be involved with the Gondoliers or the Hive, but
possibly.
Yeah, but it's not like he has a specific connection with them, right?
So I'm pretty sure we have a wanted level now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys do.
What does that mean for us?
It's not good.
It's nice to be wanted.
It is very nice to be wanted.
So what does wanted level 1 mean?
So wanted level.
Cops yell at you.
The only way to reduce your crew's wanted level is through incarceration. When one of your crew members, friends, contacts, or a framed enemy is convicted and incarcerated for crimes associated with your crew, your wanted level is reduced by 1. Incarceration may result from investigation and arrest by the Bluecoats, or because someone turns themselves in and takes the fall for the crew's crimes. Incarcerated, that, and the duration of the prison stay is determined by the wanted level.
It basically means that like we add the wanted hate level to like the heat roll, like for the entanglements.
Oh, okay.
So we will have a higher chance of having worse entanglements.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad because we roll 2 anyways, so we can take the lower one, like the worst, the lesser evil.
Yeah.
And remind me if I'm wrong, but when your heat fills up and you gain a wanted level, your heat resets, right?
Yes.
Goes back to 0.
Yeah.
Was there any carryover?
There is carryover if you have extra, but we have like straight 9s, so we should be empty now.
Okay. So it's just going to be your wanted level that you're rolling in that case. So that's just levels 0 to 3. Pretty sure. Yep. Yeah. So what we're going to do there is we're going to roll. It's just 1d6, right?
We roll, yeah, but we roll it twice.
And you take the one that you want.
Yeah, and we add 1 to both roll because of our wanted level.
Yep. Cool.
So
Right,
we'll
we're
see how
doing it
this
now.
goes.
Let me just double check to make sure it's only 1d6.
Yeah. By the way, chat, take a look at our chat window now. You might notice that it's different. Not the window that you're typing in, but the Roll20 window. You might notice that it looks nice and fancy. This is part of the character sheet that Michael has been working on. And it's sweet. So, yeah. These were just test rolls. We were just dicking around with it and seeing what happened. But since Mike's about to roll, I figured we would show you.
Yeah, so it's just going to be 1d6, and we're going to be rolling on the level 0 to 3 table for entanglements, since your heat was reset to 0 and it's just plus your wanted level, which is just 1 at the moment. Who would like to do the honors of making that roll?
Doesn't matter.
Does not matter.
I will do it. Is there a way to do it in the character sheet, or do I just have to give a roll?
Not currently.
Okay, so I just roll it 1d6?
Yeah. I don't think there's a way to do it in the character sheet.
I rolled a 2.
Nice.
2.
Yay.
We have to roll again, right?
Yeah,
Wait.
roll second time.
Okay.
Oh, wait, why?
Because slippery for
It's a good thing.
You get
So
to
that
choose the one
was-
that you want.
So we rolled the
4.
2, so it's a
Just a
3
4.
and a 5. Ooh.
Why
Is
did?
that-
Oh, because of our wanted level.
Yeah.
Those rolls are up. Should we take the 3? Or wait, how does this? What does this matter? Show me in the rule book. Where does this matter?
So
It's been a while. I don't recall.
yeah, and what you're saying, Ian, is that you think you add your wanted level to the die roll.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's fair, because I was reading it as the table that you roll on is determined by your heat plus your wanted level. But either is fine with me, you know. Because I'm just looking at rule reference 2 right now, and the entanglement section doesn't have very much to go on.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
So where am I? What
So we're
page?
going to be choosing, I think it's page 37,
Thank you.
but it's also in rules reference 2, you know, in rule
You're right.
one.
So we're on Unquiet. We're on Unquiet
Unquiet.
Dead or The Usual Suspects.
Yep.
Okay.
So your choices are
Okay.
to
Oh, I see.
either have a rogue spirit is drawn to you and acquire the services of a whisperer or real jack to attempt to destroy or banish it, or deal with it yourself. Or you can choose the usual suspects, which is the bluecoats grab someone in the periphery of your crew. One player volunteers a friend or a vice purveyor as the person most likely to be taken. Make a fortune roll to find out how well they resist questioning, or pay the bluecoats off with 2 coin.
Ooh, within the fiction. So last episode, Oscar took a hike. Not presumably forever, but he was last seen walking off into the city. And I talked with Mike about this a while ago. I want to change the vice of Oscar. So within the fiction, I think it would make a lot of sense if Oscar's previous vice purveyor had been roughed up by the bluecoats, if you will.
Okay.
And that had caused problems. That's just an idea.
Sure.
And who is your previous purveyor?
Ojak of Ojak's Secret Freaky
Okay.
Market. It was,
Nice.
yeah. It sounds like the description makes it sound like a weird sex thing, but for Oscar it wasn't. Let me look it up. Well, no, it wasn't. It says, okay, Ojak, this shadow-skinned Taikarosi organizes the rooftop market in Silkshore once a month, where all manner of folk can cater to weird and unusual vices. Only select clientele are invited. So it's kind of like an exclusive club, and the reason Oscar was in it was because of his time as an investigator. He had kind of worked some connections in the criminal world to... I don't know, he had some friends. He maybe had done a job for Ojak in the past and helped him out. And Oscar just went there to play poker with his previously deceased friends or people he met on crime scenes who were deceased for other reasons.
Murder.
Yeah. He just wanted friends to hang out with.
Right. So you thinking you want Ojak to get nabbed?
Yeah. Yeah, let's have Ojak get roughed up or something. Maybe even during the festival. The market, you know?
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And someone roll 1d6, and that will determine...
I got it.
How easily he's able to. I don't know if there's a table for this either, so I'm just gonna go off of it. All right, so not very well. So, fortune roll to find out how well they resist. Do you know, Ian, if there's an actual table to determine what those rolls mean in the mechanics and in the fiction?
I imagine it's similar to like the way that the game normally has it, which is like 6 is like their lips are sealed, 4 or 5 is like they maybe, you know, he doesn't talk, but maybe like something inadvertently slips, and like 3 and 2 it would be like he gives up a good bit of information, but he doesn't like basically tell everything, and then 1 is like, yeah, they know everything now.
There's also the possibility that he just like, maybe he doesn't say anything, but he's like gone forever. Like you'll never get he'll never get a chance to do, like you'll never get that for stress benefits anymore.
Well, Oscar's not planning on it anyway, so
yeah.
So that would be kind of like a non-factor
Mm-hmm.
anyway.
I think also a lot of this would have to do with how much information do you think Ojax has about the crew?
Oh, yeah, I mean, Oscar is a friendly guy. Well, to some, he's friendly. And I'm sure that Willie would have maybe stepped aside to talk to Ojak, and, you know, or Willie, being an actually nice guy, probably would have gone over and thanked him for, you know, allowing him in, and maybe explained that, like, in fact, let's just say that this is how it goes. Let's say that the last couple of times he's been there, ever since Oscar joined the Gambit, Willie's gone over and talked with Ojak and just been really thankful that he's been there, and been like, yeah, you know, Oscar, he's felt like he's needed to be here a lot more. He's been really stressed out with this new crew he's running with. He's not the same. It's a problem. It's been difficult being around him. And then maybe Willie goes on to tell Ojak about the Doomeg thing, and while Oscar doesn't, or sorry, Willie doesn't know everything because he wasn't there. Like, he pretty much tells him what he knows, which is that there was some sort of ghost-based device and like on a job, and Oscar was afraid that Willie would get hurt with it, and so he told Willie that he couldn't do it, and their relationship's just been really strained ever since then. And they haven't been able to like work together well, and yeah, maybe that's what happens.
Sure. So I think that there's a couple ways we could go about this. We could have it be reflected as additional heat onto your score because of the information that he gives you, or it gives the blue coats. Do you think it's likely that he would know where the Gambit is, and that that's your hideout? Is that something that either you or Willie could have let slip at some point?
I think maybe they could have. I don't know if he would have, but like, maybe he could have. Like, I'm open to it. I don't know for sure if that's what he would have done.
I kind of feel like that wouldn't be what happened, because specifically we have the perk that is hidden.
Okay, then.
So I want to say no because that, but maybe like he lets slide like the name of it, but not location, and so they wouldn't be able to go off of that, just that.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe he like gives the location of, because we're in kind of a neighborhood in Crowsfoot,
Right.
so maybe he gives like, yeah, we just something simple like, yeah, the walk over here was a little bit longer this time, it took us 20 minutes instead of 15 or whatever, and like it
Yep.
just is based on something like that. He can get a general idea of where we're at.
Yeah. So, and the decision as to whether or not that information would have been slipped, I think, does fall to you, as the player. If you don't think that Oscar or Willie would have let that slip, then they wouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't think that they would have said like, yeah, we're at this address and this is the location, but I think like it would have been easy for him to slip up and say something along the lines of like, we're in this area, and
Okay.
which would implicate us in like the most recent score, like.
So maybe what we could do is, for this, I think that +1 heat, and if you're going to be trying to do any operations in the general vicinity of the Gambit, then we're going to have to find some mechanical way to simplify. There's increased blue coat patrols, so it's going to be
we
difficult.
take like a -1 to whatever we roll on our engagement roll, or
probably
something similar to something about our engagement roll. I feel like is where that should land. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anthony, do you have another idea? You have a thinking face.
Well, I mean, we haven't gotten to what I was doing with the blue coats specifically with regard to the area around
the strait,
the cafe. Yeah.
Right. And
okay.
Let's pull over to the zoomed in map of the Crow's Foot here. Bop. So they are pretty close together. So the Strait and the Gambit they're basically in the same block area. So anything that affects one is going to affect the other. So why don't you give us the rundown as to what exactly it is that you have been up to try to, prevent things like this from being too impactful on you guys,
Well, I had asked, how do you want to do that? Do you want me to just?
I think it's mostly up to you. I'm fine with what you suggested. I think that's totally good.
Okay.
So you basically were like, hey guys, steer clear of this area, and I'll give you a cut of our income from this business.
Yes. Should we wait until downtime to do it, or do we? Okay.
Well, I'm thinking that essentially what would happen then is that those two would cancel each other out then, because Wakasis took some preemptive action to try to make the blue coats steer clear, then we'll leave it at the +1 heat for the crew because of
perhaps instead, like because it'd be kind of lame to like negate what Wakasis did. What if like Wakasis's effect does in fact work on the Strait? Like they don't suspect the Strait to be a part of this, but the Gambit is definitely like, because you said like what would affect one would affect the other, but maybe in this case it just doesn't, because like blue coats feel like the Strait is a safe place because of what Wakasis did.
I guess the limit to
go ahead.
The limit and the difference of what. So we should probably talk our audience through what I had been attempting to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the difference being, and we can go back to like the context of this when we do downtime. I guess that's the good way to do this, because it has relevance to my downtime actions and my off time clock. But Wakasis attempted to strike a deal, and that was to basically own the blue coats that are around our center of commerce, and remove the blue coats from our center of criminal activity, thinking that they're separate, basically. Mm-hmm. So like the cops that are around the cafe, hey, they're in our pocket. The cops don't see what happens at the Gambit, or I guess might be at the Strait.
Yeah. The Strait's definitely our center of commerce,
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know who it was that you spoke to at the Blue Coats, or would you like for me to just give him a name and have that be his name?
That depended on if somebody else actually wanted some involvement in that part. I'm okay with a name. He's not a. It was a dead end for Casey's other effort.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter.
Because the conversation that you had has already happened, and so there's already been kind of a deal struck up. And so I think that at the very least, giving a name to the main guy you talk to would be helpful. So let's call
Dennis Berger. Detective Dennis Berger.
All right, Dennis.
But
Berger.
It's both U's. Berger. Because this is Blades in the Dark.
Okay.
Berger.
So I think there's an opportunity to play something out here in character. Okay. So an undetermined amount of time after the score.
Before we do, at least when you guys were initially discussing what impact this would have on us, I liked to imagine that when the Blue Coats were tipped off, there's something going on there, and then they went, and maybe they talked to Dennis Berger, and he pushed back, right? Their investigations didn't get traction.
Right. So yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. I think there's a little something that you and I can play out here. So an undetermined amount of time after the score, you are probably just walking around the area, around the strait, maybe trying to clean it up, make it look a little nice. Because I think you've taken the strait on as kind of your pet project, and Silas, I think you took on the Gambit as your pet project. So you both kind of have two parallel things going to try to get these things functional as businesses again. And so you're doing work on that Wakasis, and Dennis approaches you.
I hate you, Anthony.
And he's by himself, and he's not in his blue coat uniform. Looks like he's off a clock at the moment. But he's kind of got his collar up. Looks like he's trying to be unnoticed. Doesn't want anyone to know that he's there. And he approaches you, and he pulls you aside and says, "Ocasis, I got some news for you."
Detective, what can I do for you?
Listen, there's some people that have been poking their noses around in regards to what you have going on here. Sounds like one of your guys' acquaintances spilled their guts on him, and people were wanting to start doing some investigations around this area. I've been able to stall him for a little bit, for now anyway, but I can't guarantee much going forward. Maybe if you were able to give me some resources to help kind of make these things go a little smoother on my end.
Well, Detective, what are people saying? What are you hearing?
I think I heard the name Ojax and the Gambit. Do either of those names mean anything to you?
Can't say they do. I think I can probably give you something to pay attention to, though. Aside, would I know Ojax? Would I know of him?
Ojax is
or would I know you? Would I know that? Would I know the connection between Ojax and the Gambit?
I think that Oscar would have not he wouldn't have talked about it a whole lot, but you might have seen a matchbox that had a little logo on it that you would recognize as the secret market. It's kind of like the black market. Everyone knows the name for the black market, but finding it's an abstract thing, right? So although this is a very concrete place and thing, it's less known of. So you probably would have heard about it and maybe seen that Oscar had some stuff with the branding, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's essentially asking you for more
money. I know.
More money.
I'm ignoring that and trying to give him something other than money.
Attaboy.
So, Ojax, he's something to do with the market, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Are you guys trying to bring that to heel?
Well, so far they haven't been found of any illegal activities yet. Not officially.
The illegal market doesn't have any illegal activities?
Well, it's not an illegal market unless I'm totally not thinking of the right thing.
It's
know?
like
Oddities?
it's kind of like a weird sort of, yeah, like if a red or if a blue coat was up there, there would be reason to implicate everyone for crimes, but like hearing about it is not necessarily enough to, you know, like knowing where it is. It's like one of those things. It's got a front. You know, this is my rooftop market. We sell bread or whatever it is, and then on Fridays, once a month, he sells like you know, ectoplasmic bread.
Do you think this might also be a thing where it's like the location that the market is held changes, and you know only people that are in the know essentially can know where it is?
And in fact, maybe Wacasis one time saw Oscar walking with an invitation in his hand, and the invitation is always different and comes from an unmarked source, but it only goes to certain people, and it explains where it is.
Okay. Yeah, that cements things a little further. So yeah, you ask him if they're trying to crack down, and they're like, we've never been able to actually catch the market in operation. We always seem to show up after everything is over.
Well, the market isn't enough. You need to know where all the stuff is coming from.
That would help. Yeah.
Maybe we can help you.
So you're offering...
What's better than money? It's a promotion.
He needs
That's
a
more
raise.
money.
Kind of like looks like he's pleased by the idea of a promotion. Thinks it over for a few seconds. He's like, all right, if you can find me Ojax's supplier, then I'll be able to continue to keep the Bluecoats from interfering in your business.
Dennis, I'm a legitimate businessman.
Yep.
We can help each other. We can help each other.
It's like an exchange of services.
Of course, that's what a business is about.
Give him croissants.
Question: Did you take that freaking Death Pact special ability that I really wanted you to take?
I don't think I did. I took a really practical thing, and that's I couldn't rationalize the Death Pact because that would be
flavor, man.
I need that next level for sure.
Yeah.
The
I took the
rationalization
extra
is the
downtime.
flavor because it's awesome. But yeah, he's just like, shall we shake on it? That's the same.
Yep.
Shake on it. It's like, all
I
right,
give
I'll
him a
do.
croissant.
Takes it. Says thank you. Says maybe I'll come by for some of these every once in a while. They're pretty darn good, don't you think?
On the house, Dennis.
Oh, you guys got any espresso?
Shit, son. Why'd you do that to me?
It's on the way.
Let me know when it's ready.
Takes a while to hear from Taikarosi. We like the dark stuff.
Says, I'll see you around with cases.
Dennis?
He leaves. Cool. So that was fairly averted.
That's fun. Wacasis is
Yeah.
so slick.
Yeah. I don't think that I could have had you make a roll, but I don't think one was necessarily needed because you've already done work prior, to set up that relationship. So
I feel that there will be roles in the future generated by the conversation. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah, rolls and croissants and espresso. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Oh, different rolls. Okay.
Giuseppe.
let's head on to downtime. Try to get through that.
Should we take a quick break?
Do you want to?
Yeah, let's take a quick break.
Sure.
Quick fiver,
Sure.
and then we'll hop back into downtime. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the follow button. It's directly below Ian. Ian, point down. Excellent. It's just down there. And if you hit the button, a cool little thing pops up that's like, hi. And that would be fun to watch. And also,
We love it when that happens.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube. We post things almost every day now. On youtube.com/FriendlyFireTV Gaming. The YouTube link is there in the chat. Emily and I recorded a series of us playing through the game Inside. And we are almost done with that series, actually. We've been uploading daily for about 2 weeks now. Actually, a little bit over 2 weeks now. And we are... today, we uploaded episode 16, I believe. Looks like there's maybe about 4 left, so we might hit episode 20 before it ends. And then we finished the game. So if you were curious about Inside, or you just wanted to see what that game looked like from our perspective, you can definitely check that out. It's a full playthrough. It's not like heavily edited with like... clips all the time. It's just a full playthrough, so if you just want to see all the cool puzzles they did, and there really were a lot of cool puzzles, I recommend checking it out, and it's at the link there. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes, so don't go anywhere, and enjoy the music.